Yeah, we out here on the way to go meet the rest of the UK chapter of the NFAT. So yeah, we're out here. Just getting a little on the way to go meet the rest of the major TV and the UK chapter of the NFAT. So yeah, we're out here.
It's power in these words, so let's talk.
Getting a little footage for major TV and
I said it's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah, I said it's power in these words, so let's talk. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. If I don't talk to you, trust in this message, so I gotta drop a couple jewels. Did it for my people, need some guidance, and they seeking truth. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Being live, talk to you, trust in this message, so I gotta drop a couple jewels. Did it for my people, need some guidance, and they seeking truth. Power in these words again, then they sick of being lied to. It's power in these words, let's talk. I said it's power in these words, so let's talk. I said it's power in these words, let's talk. I said it's power in these words, let's talk. I said it's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah. I said it's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk. I said it's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk. Sharing knowledge like college, corruption and all the violence. We talk about all our problems, we turn our words into power. When all our heroes is dying, the media making them monster. Black leaders stripper, they honor like history, they rewrite it. It's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk. I said there's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk. I said there's power in these words, so let's talk. Yeah, so let's talk. I said there's power in these words, so let's talk. Let's talk. I said there's power in these words, so let's talk.
Hey, my people, what's going on? This is Major with Major TV. We have a co-host, Achoti Speaks. Thank you for coming on, helping out. Our segment gonna be why ownership is important. And as you don't know the backstory, Achoti is a real estate broker. Um, she's been in the game for a minute. She'll basically tell y'all all about that in a second. Let her have some words to say and come on the show as we wait for people to tune in. We have a real action packed, exciting show. And when I say action, I'm talking about actually the ability to buy a home and what it means. Cody,
Shalom, shalom, family. Can you hear me good?
you gotta come to the mic. Sound like you in the bathroom hot.
I turn the mic up a little bit. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. So, shalom, family. Good morning to you all. Grand Rising. I'm glad to be here with Major TV for this special edition of Generational Wealth Building.
Excuse me, sweetheart. Your mic sound muffled. You sound real low.
How about that? Is that better?
I can hear you. I don't know. I got a microphone by me. I mean, I got a speaker by me. I don't know if they hear you out there, but sound as loud as you know it would sound. But I can hear you. You're hearable.
Is that better?
Much better.
All right. So, I'm like actually way up on the mic now. Okay. So, um, Grand Rising to you, family. I'm glad to be here for this special edition of Generational Wealth Building. We're going to label this episode one Why Home Ownership is Important. I thought it was a great idea when Major and I came up with this to try to educate our people because there's a lot of myths out here as to whether you should or should not uh, buy a home and being part of what they say a government system when you own a home and I just want to go ahead and dispel a lot of myths and also give you some type of tools or some type of inspiration to understand that you can too own home and understand that that is the gateway to building generational wealth. So
Okay, cool. Get finished, sweetheart.
yeah, so I just wanted to let everybody know that, yeah, like you said, I have been doing this for some time, and generational wealth building is like my motto, um, and it's very important that we as a people understand that it's not just what you're doing for right now. When you purchase a home, this is helping you build your wealth for all of your generations to come. We need to understand and always tie home ownership with generational wealth and passing that wealth down to your loved ones as a form of an inheritance.
Right, right, right. Um, Thank you for that. I want to wait a minute, see if some more people gonna come in before we go in detail and what have you. How you doing out there? How you doing, tomorrow?
I'm doing just fine. I can't complain. I'm excited, ready to get into the subject matter. Um, for all y'all who want to get in touch with me as a broker, you guys know me here on the platform as Achoti Tamar, but my dominant name is Tamara Singleton, and I'm with eXp Realty. Um, my telephone number to call if you want to learn more about home ownership, or you're ready to buy and you just need some advice, give me a call at 210-719-1202, 210-719-1202, or you can email me at Tamara Singleton at exprealty.com.
Yeah. I want to apologize. I only see one person in the chat. Um, we started late. It was supposed to be for 12. I think I made a post this morning, and I had um basically set the live for yesterday. I'm quite sure it's Sunday, Mother's Day. A lot of things going on, I guess, in the United States, and people got places to be and things to do. But Sunday was the day we picked, 12 noon Eastern, 11 Central, 10 Mountain Time, 9 Pacific Time, and we just wanted to find a way to reach out people and have something to say. And when Cody was talking about doing this podcast together, generational wealth building, um, I was like, yeah, we need that. For me, I always push financial literacy, and it's imperative that we understand how important to manage our money, invest our money, have good credit, understanding money discipline, understanding sacrifice, understanding put away uh, delayed gratification for long term gratification. Understand as an imperative that as a black nation. Excuse me, Corey. Why don't you mute your your speakers? All kind of noise coming from you. Um, so it's imperative that we understand the importance of black nation building. The problem why we're so ignorant, largely because of what this country have done to us. When they kidnapped us and enslaved us, and the brutality we experienced and dead and so forth, so on, we were transformed from our original state of our Africanness and conforming to NIG and then NEGRO from the N word to the improved Negro, right? So after they did us real dirty, left us for dead, and when they called us out trying to clean up everything, they created the Negro from the N word, right? So give you a little education, give you a little something, you be thinking that it's all good, right? So now we're dealing with that, right? And the challenging the brainwashing as a people, really talking about it. But now we're dealing with the pure ignorance of not understanding that we have to understand how to manage our money, how to use credit, how to do what these white folks doing. They say if you want to hide something from a black person, put in a book. And for me, talking about buying a home, owning property, owning land, some kind of commercial property or properties is important if we trying to build a nation. but it's too much of hating, undermining, and less love and concern. We so worried about if she get this or if he get that, that they gonna outdo me, as opposed to being happy for any black person that's trying to do better in life. Because a lot of time we have to really make that ultimate change. We have to cut loose family and friends and those we think is down with us, because at the end of the day, it's not your enemies you have to worry about. I always say this, it's people close to people around you, people you share your information with. I mean, share your life with and what have you. Be the first to turn on you and tell all your business. Be first to get into you about the stupidest things and then want to tell you about yourself. So we have to realize this part of our life in reference to really want to claim our own, really want to be something, want to be able to lead something for our kids, hopefully their kids and so forth, want us passing down we know is important. I want to thank Achoti Tamar for coming in here. I want to thank her for how she's been contributing to Major TV. And this show is just another segment of trying to reach out to the black community. We can also use examples of real case situations and what have you, projects we're looking at. We can also try to invite guests on here that's in the real estate too. So without further ado, I see it's two people and I'm not gonna wait too long. Um we've been kind of bouncing around. We're gonna really talk about, but I'm gonna let Cody take over and we're gonna just roll from there.
All right. Thank you, Major, for that. You're absolute. All right. Thank you, Major, for that. You're absolutely right. When it comes down to our people competing with one another, that is a horrible spirit that we have to let loose. We have to walk in our lane and understand that we can do what we can do and let other people do what they do. And so, what does it really take to become a homeowner in this day and age? I heard you mention credit, Major. Could you explain to the family why credit is important when trying to acquire a home?
Craig is important because in your life, getting a home loan probably be the biggest loan you ever get. And it will be based off your relationship, your previous relationship that you then had with other companies. When you signed that contract, shook their hand, and you made timely payments or paid everything out on time, you know it was late. That's relationship building, because in real estate, it's all about it's relationship based. And once you establish that you're trustworthy, that's when credit plays a major part when you make bigger moves as far as buying a home. So it's just a form of leverage of showing financial institutions that you have a history of paying on time and paying off your debt, and they could trust you with this large amount, even though they're gonna use the home as collateral, right? Whereas if you don't pay it and you default or go foreclosure, they could take the home back. Um, you're still you're still given the ability to pay for home with only putting possibly 3 to 5% down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really want to go too deep in that, but I'm gonna let Cody kind of explain all that. But that's my take on that.
Okay, so credit, right? Your credit basically tells the creditor, the person you're wanting to establish that use their money, that use that money person, use their money person. It tells them how responsible you are. Your credit score tells the creditor how responsible you are and how you've paid your bills over time, how you use the credit that has previously been extended to you. And so that's why your credit score is important, because it let them know whether or not you're going to be a responsible homeowner, i.e., are you going to make that mortgage payment every month. And so when we talk about home ownership in the black community, in 2008, 2009, 2010 is when we experienced the greatest loss of home ownership, and that was directly tied to our wealth, our worth. And so we are still at the bottom of the wealth game in this nation. And so, Major, can you go ahead and speak to the history of home ownerships amongst blacks as opposed to our white counterparts? Speak to redlining and what we call predatory lending.
Yes, I definitely will. I definitely will do that. Thanks, Mike, for tuning in. Mike and Jasmine, thank you for tuning in. I would definitely touch up on that.
Because understanding that our history can help us prevent.
It's relatively simple. I see everybody coming in. Thank you. Clean Black Sneakers, what's going on? 10-2 with Mike and Jazz in the building. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a real conversation going on. But the red lining in Chicago, there was a white guy back in the 20s, I believe, that walked on the other, they had like the blacks on one side and the whites on the other side. And a white guy went over there and we're just inquiring about how much their mortgage and how much they were paying for the house. And come to find they were paying significantly higher than white homeowners. And this white guy exposed the red line, the predatory lending of banks that deliver was charging black people higher on their mortgage. In New Orleans, according to our in front, when you look at Katrina, it showed where banks denied a lot of black people homes in areas where less disastrous. And as far as hurricanes and whatnot, less flooding major issues. But the Lord Light one areas like that where they forced black people to stay there. I mean, they would deny them loans in areas where it was nicer. It wasn't gonna be as impactful as far as hurricanes and so forth so on. But Lord Night, well, you know what I'm saying? They would actually certain parts of New Orleans would actually give them a loan now. And it's the discrimination and the predatory lending that was going on, it even goes on now. You know, we keep talking about separation. We already separated. Every city you go through is gonna be a black and white town. Every town, city, is gonna be a black and white thing, right? And you have to realize a lot of this red line and a lot of this predatory lending has been going on so long that it's been exposed where people don't realize it is open doors for us a little, but they are still doing it. And the thing about it is we have to keep beating on the door, kick on the door, throw rocks, probably to burn the door down, you know what I'm saying? But we have to keep fighting, because if we don't keep fighting to get in the door, we're gonna be like how we are with the violence in our community. We become socially numb to it and go to accepting what's going on. And it's sad, you know, white people have made it their business in other groups in this country, not just whites, but mainly whites. But when you see the Asians and you see the Latinos, you see people that treat our community, the Arabs and what have you, you see how they treat our community, right? Because they see how the power structures treat us, right? So for me, when we talk about redlining, you talk about something happening in Chicago and all across the country, how the banks was raising mortgages on black homeowners, how how banks was denying black people home loans in certain nice areas that wouldn't be affected by natural disasters and what have you. That was all intentional. So because of it being exposed and because of black people being consistent, a lot of things came to light. The problem, though, is the fact that as a people, We don't help each other fight it together. They got those who can help people get loans and can help people get on the right track with helping them get a loan, home loan, or put in position with the credit and really just make a good move. But we so busy trying to outdo each other. We so busy trying to buy Jordans, the fake Gucci bags and all that. We so busy trying to live a lifestyle that's totally contradictory to the way we should be living. We'll go broke just to put rims on our car, be flashy, drawing some red bottoms and what have you. And hey, that's what's up. Go in the club and trip all out. Are we going to Mother's Day? I wouldn't bet 80% of the Mother's Day gatherings, I bet you we decked out. Decked out. Especially in the hood. So the poorest places be decked out. But guess what? Can't get their car fixed at break. A lot of them have basic common sense that when you get a car, put a warranty on it. A lot of them don't understand just basic things. And the funny part about it, we have the survival of the fittest mindset in the black community, not in society. Survival of the fittest as far as making sure we survive and make it. We only do it among each other. But that's because of what Naeem Agbar was talking about, changing the psychological slavery. We've been taught to fight against each other. We've been taught to look at each other a certain kind of way, to not believe that this can happen or this should be for us. And I'm sorry for going so hard and long about it, but I just had to say something with the red line and predatory Linda.
No, my brother, I do appreciate you for giving that commentary on that issue because our communities are segregated. But we should not look at the segregation as a bad thing. You know, Martin Luther King regretted integration, but they don't exploit that fact. He had a change of heart. Um, and so, with that being said, we can actually look at that segregation as a point of, yes, remaining separate because we're supposed to be a set apart people. And so, for example, if prominent blacks decided that they're going to go into communities around the nation where we are the number one renters in a lot of these communities, and they go into these communities and buy out the slumlords and then allow those renters to remain in those homes and give them an opportunity to buy that property from them. A lot of people don't know that, people that are on Section 8 housing, they don't know that there's a lot of programs within the Section 8 housing department where they can go from being renters to homeowners. But are we taking advantage of that? Are we being responsible enough to just simply go to the first time home buyer classes in order to get the certificate, in order to get the down payment to own a home? Are we being responsible enough to do that? That's the question. So home ownership, what does it take? You have to be responsible. You have to show people that you're responsible through your credit score as well as during your tenancy as a renter. We can take advantage of our segregated communities by investing in them and educating people on the responsibility of being a homeowner, thus increasing their wealth in this land. So, with that being said, maybe we should talk about the current homeowner statistics here in America.
Well, let me step in for a second. When I was saying segregation, I know we talk about that a lot, and I was just trying to say, well, it's already there. We just don't practice it. You know what I'm saying? We just don't. We have black neighborhoods. We can put banks, hospitals, grocery stores, clothing stores, manufacture, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We can create some stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's always land so we can build it and get and create. My thing is, it's already dead. It's just we haven't put in our mind it can be done because we've been programmed to believe it's not possible. You won't have somebody that always come to the woodwork. Oh man, the white folks gonna let you do that. Oh man, black folks, they not about that. And I'm just saying that we talk about separation. We already separated. Unless separation is getting some land like it's just and getting some land like in Africa or actually try to get a town or what have you, like Ramas J was talking about. But my thing is, I just feel like I hear things people say things and just make me think about where they come from. What you've been if you've been around long enough, you can see clearly white people over there and black people over here. You got those in the middle that mix and mingle and what have you. That's all it is. All right, Cody.
Well, well, since you went that route, I wanted to go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead and talk about the advantages of renting a home. Can you think of any advantages it is to renting as opposed to owning a home?
I'm like this. I'm for owning altogether. I don't see no advantage in renting unless your credit not right, um, your billing, you know, and you're just not ready. Because when you buy a home, you have to remember all expenses on you. You can't report to the landlord or to the rent office about your issue. Like the home I bought, the one I'm in right now, I spent down five. I'm gonna say about 5,000 when I first moved this house. Water pipe, electric, everything you name would happen. You know what I'm saying? But I was ready. I was able to get it done. Right? Everybody is not mentally prepared and financially disciplined. And that's another thing we gotta talk about. See all this real estate talk, credit, money, all that sounds good, but you don't understand money discipline, that can be a major problem. But I can tell you the difference between home ownership versus renting. Let's compare. When you rent, you're paying somebody else mortgage. You put more money, you put somebody else, you put more money in somebody else's pocket, right? If you own, if you own, you are investing in your home. It's a savings account. A home is really a savings account. It then depending on because in real estate is location, value. So it's where you live at, right? So it's good to have schools. Like I have a school around me, all kinds of department stores, everything, right? And a couple schools. Make a long story short, though, in my house they went up like in 2 years, like over $50,000, right? And the thing about what I'm trying to say is, it's a savings account because you're paying your mortgage and all the other fees you're paying between with taxes and insurance and what have you. And then it appreciates, right? But when you rent from somebody, you're paying their mortgage as well as when they property appreciate, you don't get nothing from it, you know? And then the most important thing between owning and renting versus rent is the fact that when you own, that's just your stuff. You own the land, the air, the building, everything. That's all yours. They find some, all that's yours. Everything within that so many square feet is yours. You own it. Versus if you rent, you don't own anything. That's it.
And so, with that being said, I always like to play devil's advocate. What would you say to the individual that says, I just don't want the responsibility of owning a house, having to maintain the grass and having to maintain repairs and um, paying taxes on the property? What would you say to an individual like that? Because, let's just be honest, everybody is not, built to be a homeowner. Because, like I said again, it's a certain kind of responsibility that you must have about yourself to want to do that. So it's no shade on people who feel like they're just not ready to take on that responsibility. But what would you say to encourage someone that had that mindset, but they don't want the responsibility of having to fix repairs and having to come up with that large down payment and you know not having the responsibility of owning a home? What would you say to them?
Teach his own. I just showed the comparables, renting versus owning. It's an individual choice, right? If you're black, you live in United States, UK, or what have you. You're in an oppressive regime where they control everything, right? And you know you're at the bottom of the bucket, and you're around a bunch of crabs, which is black people crabbing the bucket, right? Are you trying to come out the rat race? Are you trying to make your life better? Do you want to leave generation wealth to your kids? Because you can leave the house to your kids, right? And a house that's worth such and such now, 20 years from now, it can worth triple or more. Because you're not only paying the mortgage now, it appreciates in value, especially when you do little home improvements and stuff like that. Um, then the magic to it, then you have equity in it, right? If you want to take the equity out and buy another house and rent that out, that's the trick. I'm giving you game. There's jewels, right? If you want to refinance your house, if you have credit card issues, you can take them out your house and pay your credit card issues. If you want to do whatever, you want to start a business, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways. What you're dealing with is a savings account, as a homeowner. It appreciates, and it's equity. If you don't know what equity is, it's like money. You can go to the bank and pull it out. Like if you, I mean, let's say like you have a $200,000 mortgage, and you didn't pay it 100,000 already up, and you got 100 left. That's 100,000 equity that you already paid in now. That's why it says a savings account. You know, so it's a triple whammy, y'all. Triple savings, right? Appreciation goes up in value. Equity, you can take equity out of it. So for me, for anybody that's renting, teach his own. But you can't complain. The landlord tell you to get out. It happened before years ago. Ready for you to leave, you want to move back in the house or whatever. Can't get mad if things are getting worse around you. You can't get mad if life start to change and evolve around you. You don't understand what's going on because your family and friends are buying homes, you're still renting. It's what you want your life script to be like. You want to win a script or you want to lose a script. And the reason why I say a loser script, because a loser script is for anybody that don't understand evolution, don't understand what change is about. You see guys and ladies dressed in the 70s and 80s. It's 2001. You see people talking like it's 50 years ago. It's 2001. I said 2001. Excuse me, 2021. I'm sorry. 2021. Wow. 2021. And we have to realize we have to change with time. Things won't always stay the same. Just like the stuff we're seeing with skyscrapers, we're seeing with gentrification in our neighborhoods and whatnot, we're seeing everything around us just change. With technology and these phones and everything a phone can do. I mean, can I go on? But it's a personal choice. But for me, I am one who advocate, been proposing this for years. Anybody know Major from New Orleans, Atlanta, wherever I was at, I always preached all these things, right? And I helped a lot of people get their credit together. I help people get home. I help people in many ways. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to talk about what I did. I don't like to go there. But my whole point is the fact that we have to understand that when you're renting, you're putting your life in somebody else's hand. Nothing's really guaranteed. But when you're buying, of course you're dealing with the bank or what have you, right? But they're lending this to you. They look. And the funny part about it, you don't have to keep the house for 30 years. You can turn around and sell it, pay them off, and get like I said, 200,000. You pay them off, you give them 100,000, a whole 100,000 in your pocket. There's so many ways you can look at it. So it's an exit plan too with that. We can talk about that later, but it's just so much real estate. So I advocate on homes, properties, everything.
Well, Major, you really did say a mouthful with that, brother. And you mentioned so many different points that I do want to go ahead and get into. The first point you made was about the long term investment. Um, like I spoke earlier, during the housing crisis in 2008, 2009, we did lose a lot of wealth. But since then, we managed to regain that with the low
Hold
interest
up,
rates.
time out. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Yes.
You keep talking about that. Can I speak about that? What really happened?
Oh,
You
I know
want?
exactly what really happened. So yes, if you want to go ahead and let's see if
Let's
your
talk about that,
understanding,
right?
let's see if your
Let's talk
understanding meets
about
my
that.
understanding. But go ahead.
Reason why it was a crash, because around that time it was bust wide open, but it really was a couple years before that. People can go. They call it stated income, right? Georgia was the largest state in the United States that was getting caught in mortgage fraud. They was locking up everybody at the round table. Trust me, everybody. They would do fake financials every day. See, people understand the United States is the only country where we can buy the same thing a millionaire buy. People understand that. The same stuff, the Gucci, all they hear about, people really spend their money. All these foreign cars, they really spend money and can't afford it. But just because they say, oh, you got to prove for such and such, you got pure proof for such and such. If you know anything about having a financial statement, you got to know your income, manage your expenses. That's your network. I have all on the board, all on my computer. A lot of us don't even know about personal financial planning, right? We don't do this. We don't consider how to look at making financial decisions because we don't be having a financial statement. Most of black people. Any financial decision we make, we should make it based on what we can afford. What they was doing, they was giving all these houses out, and they was giving balloon rooms, blah blah blah. People was buying houses they know they couldn't afford this $500,000 house because they were making 60,000 to 70,000 a year, right? Or they was getting the numbers, they were playing with the numbers and what have you, the fake financials. And trust me, I know personally, I've been around, I've seen it, you dig? And to make a long story short, it got messed up because greed kicked in, like the cars and everything. People was getting all kind of cars they couldn't afford. And you know why this country went under the real estate market and all that? Is because of the fact that people was actually buying stuff they couldn't afford. That was their fault, really. But this dude, right? And it was also the person that sold it to them fault. They knew they couldn't afford it. That's why they kicked the state income out. You know what I'm saying? I made exceptions to it or what have you. But it was so much BS. And then I was a great guru. Warren Buffett got on. He got on national TV, CNN, and trying to give advice about the real estate bubble. He played a major part with doing it, right? Because what they do, they buy all these mortgages, package them up, and they sell to different institutions. Whatever. That's why the institution was going under. He was one of his company was a man company that was selling bundles of real estate that was bad, toxic, foreclosure. People's upside down could not pay that, could not correct that. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of went under behind that. But to get to my point is, a lot of people bought stuff they couldn't afford, and they still do that right now today. They didn't kind of made it stricter. That's why when you go to the bank or you go to the institution, now they go through your dang on personal financials like the FBI. They're gonna ask you the same thing about 4-5 times again. You gotta show this, you gotta show this, because it was so messed up when they did the research and see how it was so much fraud going on, so many people lying, and so many companies. Because I realized if the car dealership don't sell a car, they don't make no money. You have to realize if real estate agents don't sell a house, they won't make no money. If the banks don't get the money out, they won't make no money. They won't make no money. If the loan officer don't make sure everything good, you don't make no money. It's all a domino effect. That's why it's hard to deal with someone, right? And to feeling in and expect for them to be honest with you because they gotta sell that car. They gotta move these stuff. You get very few people that don't have a salesman pitch or saleswoman pitch because it's all about the almighty. It's all about them making money. You feel me? And unfortunately, a lot of black people with the same greed mentality. You know what I'm saying? And it crosses over in our everyday life. We don't realize that's why right now there's not a lot of love and care in the black community because too many of us are focused on greed. But that's why the economy got all messed up. I did a lot of research on that. It was crazy, y'all. I had to say, I'm sorry, tomorrow for interrupting you, but I had to say that.
No, no, that was excellent what you mentioned because that was exactly what happened, and the root of all of that. You didn't know the financial term for what Warren Buffett had done, but that financial term is called default swap derivatives, and that's what made everything go bad for the banks, and that's what made them too big to fail. It wasn't that they were too big to fail, ladies and gentlemen. It was that they didn't know who to pay when the homes were being foreclosed on. They didn't know who to divvy up the money to because one mortgage was owned by several different REIT, real estate investment trust company, venture capitalists. They all had their hands in the subprime market. What's the subprime market? The subprime market is where you don't have a good credit score. You don't have an excellent credit score. You don't even have a good credit score. You have a average or below average credit score in some cases, and they label you what you call a C paper. People with good credit scores, they're B papers, and people with uh, excellent credit scores, they're called A paper. So the subprime lending mortgage thing they had going on back in the 2008, 2009, or prior to 2008, 2009, was called the subprime lending, and that represented C and D paper people. They didn't really have the income, like the brother mentioned, that they were forging paperwork, documents, W 2s, W 9s, tax returns to show that they had income. And then also, they did not have the credit score. And so they were all those loans were placed into, like the brother said, bundles, and then sold to different investors, and different investors brought into those, and that's what happened. And so default swap derivative is the key term to explaining what happened in 2008. And then you also mentioned, brother, that owning a home is a long-term investment, and that's absolutely true, because even if the value of the structure itself depreciates in value, as what happened during the housing bubble crash in 2008, 2009, people lost a lot of value in their house. The primary goal with home ownership is to own the land. Why? Because the land is indestructible. The value is in the land. And so when people mention location, 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 it's not about the buildings that's there. It's about the land that's there. For instance, here in San Antonio, everyone knows that the land value on the north side is about 3 to 4 times more expensive than the land on the south side. And thus, when they build, you can have the same floor plan of house, and you can see $100 to almost $200,000 price difference just because that house is located on the north side. So that's just an idea of to tell you that, well, it's the land and not the actual structure, because land is indestructible. You cannot destroy land. So I just wanted to mention that. Did you want to have anything to add on that, Major?
I basically said I wanted to say, and no, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Please stop buying stuff you can't afford. How you know you can't afford it? You know your income. You know your expenses. Minus that is your network. We need the all-star pricing that. It's called money discipline. Just because you can get that Mercedes or that Beamer, BMW, you don't know what I'm saying, Infinity or what have you, just think about whether you can afford that note. Just think about if it's really worth it or worth it. Buying homes. The The desire to want to get something nice and beautiful. Trust me, I struggle with that too. Each time I struggle. But common sense kicked in. I can always get it later. Because you know why? When the market is down, that's when all the deals out there. See, when it's up, like in Atlanta, it's a seller market. So my little real estate company struggling to make a sale. I'm really writing on my taxes as a loss, right? But when it's down, which I'm waiting to go down, I'm gonna definitely get this house here and go give me another one and rent this one out, right? I'm also looking at commercial properties and stuff like this. But to make a long story short, take your time, start slow. Don't try to go reaching. That home is for you. I don't care if you got a big family, small family, you know, a lot of people. It's for you. As long as you and yours love it, that's all that matters. Don't worry about when you invite people, what they gonna think and say. Just make sure grass cut. Make sure you got looking nice. Especially inside too. And greet people calling. Because you know why? You might touch somebody that may have the same question that we're talking about. Why home ownership is important. And you'll be able to tell them that. Our people live in ignorance. Our people thrive in ignorance. Our people eat ignorance. We are so socially numb to our ignorance that it's not a big deal to make foolish choices with our money. Because we be saying, I don't care, I do what I want with my money. I'm grown. Nah, you're not grown. You're unintelligent. You're ignorant. And you're brainwashed believing that you get the J's, them Jordans. You get the nice expensive clothing. You get all the nice jewelry and all that. You got the foreign, you know, you're living all right. That is all right. But a lot of people I know living like that. I'm not going to say that. That's it. I'm not going to bring a person that told me something personally kind of messed me up, right? But I'm going to say this. Too many times we justify our ignorance. Too many times we take life for granted. And the same people I was talking about, and a lot of people like that. A one lady whining about they broke, they talking about the bills, they whining. In life, sometimes life do this to you. It slap the piss out you. And you know, you ever been slapped by your mom, you know that stuff hurt, right? Life does it to you every time you fall on your face, every time you whine, you cry about your situation. I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about in general, black people that experience that. And if you experience it, the shoe fit wet. It slaps you so hard that it make you want to think. And a lot of times I think that'd be the most high we trying to tell us. They want us, hey, wake up. You're not doing that right. But major TV is trying to like promote that we own our own. That we understand what life is all about. It's not always party. It's not all about enjoying ourselves. There's a time and place for that. I'm going out tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to enjoy myself with my queen. But we're not talking about that. But you have to know how to do that. See, it feels good that when anything breaks, I can get it fixed. It feels good that I'm looking at buying other houses. It feels good that I'm taking my credit and investing in my online business, investing in little real estate. Just it feels good when you own it. See, when you can be bold enough to show your face on that camera, knowing they can come get me and whatever. When you can be bold to just speak the way I speak. I'm not saying I speak like a monster and I'm all that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that a lot of us don't want the heat. We don't want to really be caught up in all that hoopla, that drama. But for me, I feel like it's my job because I'm trying to reach out and touch you. I know I won't be here long and nothing wrong with me. I'm healthy. I'm good. But I'm just saying that while I'm here, my legacy gonna be not just building generation wealth, but also trying to teach and help you all, and y'all can teach and help others. Because it's what hashtag each one teach one, right? Hashtag turn words into action, right? So I just wanted to just say that, y'all, and just let y'all know, my take on it.
Well, thank you for that, Major. That was very impactful. I mean, all praises to the Most High for you sharing, for your deep feeling about that. Like I said, it all goes back to being responsible. It's not this is not meant for everybody. Home ownership is a responsibility. I just want to go ahead and read a little excerpt from this article that I ran across from First American Title. It says, for most, the largest asset is housing. The lower the income of homeowning household, the lower the income of a home owning household, the greater the share of its wealth coming from home ownership. This pattern has remained consistent over the last 3 decades. According to the Historical Survey of Consumer Finances data, in 2019, housing wealth represented, on average, nearly 75% of the total assets of the lowest income households. For households in the middle of the income distribution, housing wealth represented between 50 and 65% of total assets. But for the highest income households, that percentage was only 34. The difference in the composition of wealth means that fluctuations in home prices will have a much bigger impact on wealth of lower income families than those that have a mix of other assets. Despite the risk of volatility in the housing market, numerous studies have demonstrated that home ownership leads to greater wealth accumulation when compared with renting. Renters don't capture the wealth generated by house price appreciation, nor do they benefit from the equity gains generated by monthly mortgage payments, which become a form of forced savings for homeowners. There are certainly risks for home ownership, and its benefits are not uniform across all markets. However, the majority of households that transition into home ownership, um, the most recent data reinforces that housing is one of the biggest positive drivers of wealth creation. So, family, what I'm saying is that the proof is in the pudding. Major spoke on all of these things. He said it in a way that the layman uh, could understand it. We talked about home ownership being a good long-term investment, because the longer you stay in that house, the more that house will eventually depreciate, the land will appreciate, and regardless to if the structure itself depreciate, you always own the land, and that's a long-term investment. That's an asset that you can hold on to. Then you're constantly building equity over time, like Major explained. You can borrow against the equity that you've accumulated in your home. Then there's something that we never talked about, this federal tax benefits. You get tax credit for mortgage tax credits for owning a home, so that it goes against your tax liability. If your tax liability is $1,300 and you've paid $1,500 in mortgage tax credits, then the government owes you $200. That's how that works. Okay, and then also home ownership gives you a greater sense of privacy. When you are a renter, the landlord can come in your house without notice, as long as it's during a reasonable time. What's reasonable to him may not be reasonable to you. But when you own your home, nobody has keys to your house unless you give them the key. So, and then it's the stability of not having your rent hiked up, you know, every year, or every your rent rate, I'm speaking of, every year or every month if you're going month to month. When you make it a mortgage payment and you have a fixed loan, then you know what your mortgage payment is going to be primarily at that fixed rate. Now, your mortgage payment may fluctuate depending on the price of your insurance and the price of your taxes if you have those items escrowed into your mortgage payment. But for the most part, you know how much your mortgage payment is going to be if you have a fixed rate mortgage. And finally, my last tip or advantage to owning a home is providing stability. stability for your family. There's nothing worse than having to raise a family and you're taking them from school to school. That is very traumatic. That's a very traumatic experience on our children. And if we become homeowners and we stay put in that house for at least the duration of their school age, then they'll have that stability of knowing this is home and they don't have to worry about where they're going to lay their head from month to month, year to year, what new friends they're going to have to make, differences that they're going to have to go through. We don't need to add that added stress. So home ownership brings a greater sense of stability within your family. So those are my advantages to owning a home. Is there anything that I was lacking, Major, that you can add?
I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking at some. Yeah, I don't know if everybody know that Biden um got something dealing with the 25,000 home by a grant and also 17,500 tax credit, and all dealing with home ownership. And I think you should look at that while we speak about it. I was trying to share it on my screen, but I'm seeing it on my
Yeah.
phone right now. I can't share it, but you need to check out that if you're first. It's only for first time home buyers. The 25,000 home buyer grant. See, that's why when people be talking about the government, this government, that, there are grants out here to help us. We have to know how to apply for it. You know what I'm saying? And believe it or not, I ain't gonna say to help us because it's just out there for citizens. Like I said, I won't say one. It's to help, but that's your taxpayer money. That's your taxpayer money. See, the problem is we gotta know how to do so many things at one time. We gotta do self termination. Yeah, get our own stuff, but while we here, let's get what they owe us. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about asking, I'm talking about applying and demanding. And you need to, we definitely need to check that out and what have you. It was brought to my attention last night, and I wanted to share with you about it's called the Down Payment Act. Is a home buy act. It offers 25,000 upfront and closing to use toward the down payment of their first home. So check that out there. There's Biden's Down Payment Act. It's Biden. I'm about to put it on. I'm about to type in here. Check it out.
Hey, Major. If you can
Uh,
recall, last week we had spoke about this same bill, and we had said that we would do a special show on that where we break the whole bill down and allow people to get a better understanding as to who is eligible, because there are some stipulations that go along with this, of course. And I just want everybody to be clear that we do need to walk through this bill to understand if you're eligible, because some people are on the understanding that if they own a home now and that mortgage has been paid off, that they're not a first-time home buyer. That's not true. You still may qualify for this law, and I just want to say that we can't really get into the details of it now because we're probably getting close to the end of our show. But definitely, I think we should revisit that once this is passed. It has not passed yet, um, but it's working its way through Congress.
yes, yes. Thank you for correcting me. I wasn't sure if it was passed or not, but that's something that we need to know about, and that's good. According clarify, let us know. We're gonna probably chop tomorrow. We gonna probably take phone calls too. At the middle of the show or whatnot. To talk about all that and some of y'all real estate questions or whatever. We're gonna be interacting with you all. It's not gonna be us just talking and you all just sharing your comments. We want you to call and ask questions, real estate questions and what have you, so we can kind of steer you in the right direction. Again, Cody is a real estate broker and I'm a real estate investor. You know what I'm saying? I invest in real estate. That's what I do. So one of the things I do. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that next week, of course.
Yes, sir. So, did you want to read some comments in the chat, or are we gonna close
I'm gonna read some of your comments and whatnot. Good show today. Good show. Good show. Good show. Like, okay. I won't be able to see y'all comments. Y'all know how I do. I'm gonna read so many comments and I'm gonna just flash them as we communicate. TNT with Mike and Jazz. What's up? Facts, bro. Sad story on the news where black homeowner try to sell house. The white inspector valued the home 50% less than value. Wow. He got his white friend to act like home and it was valued higher. Wow.
Right, right. I saw that as well. It was a white appraiser. The right appraiser came in and appraised the home 50% less than what he appraised it for the white friend. Same, it's crazy.
Right, right, right. Um I know you told me your name. I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Jamila Natine, you can text me or call me, let me know what's up. This is my UK person, correspondent. She want a lot of information and stuff like that abroad. So I definitely wanna thank you. She said happy Mother's Day to you. UK Mother's Day was in March, but I celebrate the Mother's US as I have a lot of family there. Happy Mother's Day to sisters that celebrate and what have you, you know what I'm saying? Have a blessed and wonderful day. Glad you could tune in too from the UK. Got UK in the building, y'all. For real, for real. Read some shit. She come back and say, made you on you're so on point. Just home do appreciate you can't take the equity out to finance the purchase of another home. She also said something else that caught my attention. She was like, when you rent, even in UK, it is usually more expensive than a mortgage, and all you are doing is enriching someone else rather than yourself. Wow, powerful. Thank
That
you,
is
sister.
powerful. That is
Thank
powerful.
you.
Yes. Thanks for that, sister.
That's powerful. Sojourner of Light, the Light Doom, Quest Man, Abdullah Do, Black Flower. Peace and great blessings, beloved black family. Respect and honor to the animated TV Let's Talking. Bless Black Queen and Cody. Black Power. Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much.
Shalom.
TNT.
Black power.
Guys, I would just want to say,
No, I was just saying shalom to Brother Abdul Abdul.
all right. TNT with Mike and Jazz. Facts, bro. Elevation feels great. You already know. To the season. True glad I was born in the 80s. Laugh aloud. I have internet doesn't bother me. Laugh aloud. Thank goodness. I'm sorry about internet problem. I know you've been talking about that, man. Tennessee said, "Is there fees to get 25,000?" Asked because the first time I heard of that major, but we'll do research on the perm when you get off here. Check us out here, brother. When you got a grant, there's no fees. That's free money. That's money that's your money, really. Taxpayers' money. That's money they give to you. You just have to qualify for it.
But
When I
there are some
sorry,
stipulation there are some stipulations that go along with that grant, like certain things that responsibilities you have to adhere to. When that nothing is for free. That's why I say we need to go and study that grant, that paperwork really really well. For instance, when sometimes they gave out grants for down payment assistance, but it's a stipulation that you must stay in that home for at least 2 years. You don't have to pay the money back, but you can't sell that house unless prior to 2 years. You have to be a homeowner in that house for 2 years. In some states, it's 5 years. So be very very careful that you read the fine line when dealing with grants.
but still, I'm saying for grants. Me personally, I got grants. I had to pay nothing for grants. Nothing. Nothing for grants. He said fees. Is there fees to get 25? It's not fees. What you talking about is stipulations and whatnot and blah blah. I'm talking about this for the 25,000. No, ain't no fees. Now I'm not saying you can contribute none of your down payment. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a grant is free money, but it's with stipulations and what have you. I go to grant truck driving. All I had to do was take assessment course, um, go to a couple of seminars, and they gave me the money, and I've been driving for some years now. So there's stipulations, but I had to pay no money for it. If you look up grant, you'll see what grant is. You know what I'm saying? But I try to remind people that that is your money. And you have to understand that some stipulations that come with it, Some people have to understand the purpose of it and not abuse it and so forth. So even though this government is all corrupt, but at the same time, when you're giving money, that could be you or I. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. A person has to understand what they're embarking on, what their responsibility and so forth. So on. And too many times you get an opportunity, you just blow it because you didn't go through the proper training or what have you. So that's why I had said it's not no fees for the 25,000. But the stuff you were saying, Cody, yes, all the other stuff, yeah, that we're gonna talk about, yeah. You got something else you want to say about it?
No, no, no. Just I just wanted the people to be aware that there are stipulations with that go along with grants that we have to adhere to. That's all I wanted to say.
Jermaine Martin, never seen you here before. Good afternoon, my B1P. But everybody is speaking to you, so you must be somebody that's on the internet. I don't know, but I'm glad you was able to tune in. First time I seen you, and if you're new to the channel, I would like to subscribe, share this channel, share um this live as well as this channel with other people, and hit the notification bell. We drop content a lot. Thank you for tuning in. TNT with Mike and Jazz, man. Let's normalize buying mom's LLC's land stocks for Mother's Day instead of Gucci. Real talk. Real talk.
Excellent idea, sister.
Huh?
I said that was
Say
an
Cody.
excellent. I said that was an excellent idea from Mike and Jazz.
Clean Black Things. I'm watching, Major and listening. Hello to the sister. So
Shalom.
I'm gonna go. All right. I'm gonna just go through all y'all. Just go through different little different comments. I'm not gonna repeat anything, but I want to thank Cody Tamora for tuning in. As always, she's very supportive. She also, as you don't know, tuned into our new she part of the team as well. She's doing a news broadcast for Major TV, Black News Talk Entertainment. She's on fire, y'all. She's really like um bringing a new flavor. Like she's really just showing people that don't know. Now they know that she on the team and she's really trying to show us that she care. And the news she present is not just news; it's black news and commentary. And every so often, you know what I'm saying, she give her personals in reference to what she feel about the stories that she's uncovering and whatnot. And she just talked about a story today that we'll drop. And some may have heard of it; it's kind of known, and some may not. But I really appreciate the fact that she's really just making sure that we be informed about everything that's going on. And I'm just glad that we are no longer living in the shadows. We're no longer talking behind closed doors and shoo. We're speaking out and very forward. And some of us even standing up and not trying to get hit none of that ish. I want to read this right here by Jamala. UK, the queen on all the land. You can only buy 10 acres in the land. For example, freehold and leasehold. Wow, it's powerful, y'all. Read that.
A major.
Uh,
That's the state that we're in right now in these United States. These United States is owned by the Queen, British, the Britons. Yes, that's why we have to pay our taxes that we pay to the Department of Treasury goes to Britain. I just want to drop that little fact in there.
I have to kind of like rebut that a little. That's the reason why you had the July the 4th, 1776 independence thing where they won. That's the reason why they war with them. They didn't want to pay them no more taxes.
I'm sorry, Major, but yeah, we still pay Britain. And as a matter of fact, let me show you how this happened. How I found this out back during the time when Barack Obama was the president. Um, in order, he was trying to relieve the debt, bring down the debt with the debt deficit, right? And for a long time, people have been saying that the United States is going to be in debt to China. And so Barack Obama, in his Department of Interior, thought it would be expedient to sell portions of California to the Chinese, meaning the lands that the government holds as government territories, right? Government land assets. And the king, or whatever that guy, Prince Charles, wrote a letter to Barack Obama on official queendomship, whatever letterhead, stating that no one has the right to sell to any other country the queen's land. And I'm paraphrasing the letter. So yes, my brother, that's just like they told us that we were free with when they signed the Emancipation Proclamation. But are we really free? It's that kind of thing. So when you look up where our tax dollars go, as far as what we pay to the Department of Treasury, our tax dollars go to Britain, and our tax dollars also go to Israel, and that's facts. Every year, like clockwork.
I'll research it. I beg to differ, but I just don't think that you understand. I just don't think you get to see what's going on with these white folks. You know what I'm saying? Just point blank. That's their mom and daddy, yeah, but it wasn't taken. They don't care who they are. United States will, they will fight you. That's why they don't give us. That's why they will all with us. They bullies. They go take stuff, or they owe everybody. I've been hearing stuff about China, but China gonna come messing with the United States. You
Well,
know, I keep I'm just letting you. I'm just. I don't want to keep going back and forth. We can talk sideline. I'm just talking about on the real. It don't really matter. It's the reason why they fought Britain and ran them out here. I'm just saying that. Like, I'm not saying they don't give Britain nothing or what have you, but they don't feel obligated to do that. But they all white people. That's their mom and daddy. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's just something that I've studied and know myself. So we'll talk on the sideline with that. I don't want to get too sidetracked. But Mike and TN2 and Mike and Jazz, and of course, subscribe and watch your YouTube. You're a small queen. Thanks for informing us. Same to my brother Major. Thanks for giving us another platform. You want to respond to that, sweetheart? You're welcome.
Tawada for listening, and just trying to consider my thoughts. They're just my thoughts. It's my opinions, and most time I have facts. But I do appreciate y'all listening to me
I'm
talk.
struggling to hear you, sweetheart. Your mic in and out.
I was saying to TNT with Mike and Jazz, I was saying, Tawada, thank you for that compliment, and thank you for considering what I have to say. I give all praises to the Most High for being able to deport the information.
I'm gonna let you know about our court too. She got fighting her too. You see how we was going back and forth about the Britain tax and all that. The sister's not a pushover. That's why I love to deal with the sister. She's very sincere. She's brought me to different platforms, showed me a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I'm always open to learn. I always tell everybody, be open to learn. Whenever you think you know, you'll find out you don't know something that's already out there, you know what I'm saying? So always be open to growth. But her and I, we have these conversations on the side, but I'm gonna definitely talk about the tax thing. But yeah, she is an integral part of Major TV now. She's co-hosted with me, as well as doing a news channel, what have you. And check out Achoti Speaks and different tell them about your platforms too, sweetheart, that you have.
So I have a YouTube channel, Achoti Speaks. That's where I discuss topics and issues affecting the Black community. And then I also have the morning dedication weekdays that I do. That's just to inspire us and keep us dedicated to focusing on our Creator and remembering that we have a Creator. And then also, I just started the new YouTube channel, thanks to Major TV, and wanting to do the Generational Wealth Builder. So I also have that YouTube channel, Generational Wealth Builder, as well, where we'll be broadcasting these episodes from Sunday mornings on that channel as well. But stay right here on Major TV because I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, thank you again. And all she shared is in the description box. So all you gotta do is go pull up and check out the sister on fire. She have a lot to say. She's very spiritual. She's very involved, and she really love Black people, and that's why me and her teamed up. My man Sean Kenny, what's up, Major Shalom, brother? Good topic today, Shalom, brother. Thank you so much. Me and Cody trying to knock out the park. Till the season say, okay, I'm hearing you learning a lot today. Thank you. Major, thank you, Cody. You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. You know we all about our people. Um, Jamila, this is interesting information. Can you show us evidence? She want to know about tax things. I think that's what we asked about, Jamila. I think, Cody, I think she want to know about that.
I'm gonna try to go back and see if I can find the letter that was sent to Barack Obama, and then I'm gonna try to find out, try to find that loophole in that 1776 document as well. It's in there though, bro. It's in there.
All right, for sure. Like we're not definitely, we're definitely not trying to doubt you. We just wanted to make sure we get clarity. That's why I was asking the same thing, talking about it. What's the title? Sister platform. Is in the description. You just gotta go to the description. Achoti Speaks. She actually entire platforms.
It's Achoti Speaks.
Achoti Speaks is in the description, I believe. I can also email it to you too. But yeah, it's been very exciting for everybody to come in. Um, I'm sorry we kind of started late. This is gonna be 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Mountain Time, and 9 o'clock Pacific and UK time. I don't know how it is. I don't. I mean, I don't know the time in the UK or what have you. But to be truthful with y'all, y'all been amazing as always. I love how y'all tune in. I love how you all support this channel. Without this channel, it's no Major TV. Major TV is taking steps towards diversifying the content for all being centered around our community. You know, and when I say our community, I'm not just talking about a neighborhood. I'm not just talking about a country. I'm talking about the whole diaspora, the whole um earth, wherever black people at. You know what I'm saying? We all about true liberation. You know, of our people. We all about informing our people. We all about putting boots on the ground. We all about just making a difference. Like I don't think it's just one person or two or three. I think it's gonna be all of us have to come together. And I know all of us won't come together literally. I'm just saying that we have to. We majority have to want the same thing, and that's why I'm communicating with people like Jamila in the UK. You know what I'm saying? Um, I even be communicating with K Money. You know what I'm saying? Canada. You know, I spread my wings. You know what I'm saying? I would like to get in Africa, which I know my channel is being viewed every so often. And Africa's grabbing Jay was telling me they was talking about the channel over there. Then they had a brother from Africa called in. We had to call in like a couple of weeks ago. But without y'all, this channel wouldn't be. I'm thanking everyone that tune in, those who gonna watch the replay on YouTube. Y'all do me a favor, y'all like this video, y'all share this video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the notification button. We always dropping content. I want to thank Achoti again for tuning in and being my co-host. Thank you for all her hard work, all the due diligence that she do behind the scenes that we don't hear about. I want to thank Jamila that's in my mentions from the UK. She's my UK correspondent. She gave me a lot of information. I'm about to drop some more stuff out today. Y'all have to comment. You know, let me know what's going on. Let me know how y'all feel and what have you. Thank y'all. Look, y'all stay blessed. Y'all enjoy yourself. This supposed to be Mother's Day, which I think Mother's Day is every day for black queens. You know, y'all enjoy yourself. Y'all be safe. Y'all still cool and just be black. Peace.